What's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight is a night owl submitted story. One of my night owls reached out to me a while ago about the passing of her mother and how her mother was a LA County employee and passed at work. So the story in the title reads, LA County employee dies at work after being refused to go home while feeling ill. Harassment allegations point to deeper workplace issues. The daughter, like I said, reached out to me, and I wanted to know a little bit more about what was going on and what happened. So I asked the daughter in the DM when she reached out, kind of explain to me what happened, what was going on, the situation with your mom, etc., etc. And she sent me a voice message explaining in more detail about things from her perspective on how things happen.
On October 18th, 2024, my mother requested to she requested to go home early. She got to work about 6 o'clock, about 6:50, she asked to go home. Her manager told her that she was had already missed a couple of days and that she cannot go home, but she can leave early. So my mother continued on with her day at work, and around 1:20, my mother felt, to my understanding, according to a few of the co-workers, I was told that my mother pretty much was feeling uncomfortable in her chest area, and she asked her manager to call 911. The manager responded that they don't call 911 here, so I don't know if they took her request as an urgency, as something that was needed to be done in an urgent manner, but she basically ignored her, and within a few minutes after that is when I'm being told that my mother passed out. Once she passed out, that's when someone called. I guess they have a code like man down or something, and then that's when the emergency came. Now, my mother works at LAC USC Hospital, now is known as General Hospital, which is for the LA County. And so the area that she works in is a different part of the hospital, and that's when the emergency side came in and transported her over to the emergency room department. After that is pretty much when they called man down, the emergency room came to get my mother. My mother went over to the emergency side of the hospital. And for what I'm being told from the doctor is that my mother was alert. And at one point in them examining her, she started going in and going out. She started going in and out. For some reason, they said that she was just, one minute she'll say something, then the next minute she'll say something that kind of didn't go with what they were talking about. So something was going on mentally. And then they said after that is when they said my mother immediately went into cardiac arrest. After she went into cardiac arrest, I was told that they, attempted to save her, attempted to do whatever they could to get her to come back or whatever they were doing. And then, she passed away, and they announced her passed away at 4:24. I was super confused because at 12:27, my mother called me, and she said that her words was that she wasn't feeling good. So this is at 12:30. I was at work. She was at work. So it was very, very short. I think our phone call maybe would have been 3 to 5 minutes. But she didn't mention that she was going home or anything like that. But she did say she wasn't feeling well.
All right, so I'm going to pause the video for a second because the next part of her storytelling goes into the workplace environment and allegations about harassment in the workplace and things like that. Now, I don't work at the hospital. I don't know her mother. I don't know her mother's medical conditions. So I cannot confirm or deny the allegation. I'm just simply giving her a platform to tell her side of the story. Again, I cannot confirm, vouch, or deny, but here's the rest.
Now, where this all goes different, and where this all kind of takes a whole nother loop is because over the last 4 years, my mom has been complaining about harassment in the workplace. She's also been complaining about the Los Angeles County not abiding by her medical restrictions. So the next day after seeing my mom passed away, it was super, super devastating. So the night of my mother's death, this is what was posted on Facebook by one of the employees.
And it reads as follows. Sad news. Today, our coworker passed today from neglect on the job. This has been ongoing for the longest at work. We hope some do something now. Rest in peace, sister. Prayers to the family. And they also posted a photo of the woman who passed and sending out their condolences.
So the next day is after my mom, my mom was deceased. I went up there, did whatever I needed to do. So I kind of was alarmed because I was asking like details of my mother account, like what happened. I needed to know, like, my mom came to work. Why didn't she come home? And so I was confused because I know my mom has already reported, that she was being harassed by management. I already had knew they weren't abiding by my mother's medical restrictions. When I asked, can someone give me an account, the social worker that was in there with me and the doctor became very offensive. Well, we don't work with your mother. We don't know everything, And she just it seemed like she was offensive. And I said, I just need to know the time of my mother's death. We don't have that. I said, you don't have the time of my mother's death? So she went somewhere, and then that's when she came back with the time of her death. So the next day, I went back to the hospital to see if I could speak with someone that knew about what happened to my mother. I wanted to speak to anybody that was there, management, whatever. I wanted to know. So when I got there, the SEIU, which is the LA County Union, the union was there investigating my mother's death. A woman was very, she was very negative. She was very like, well, you don't know the whole story. I said, well, I'm being told that my mother did not, because what one of the employees told me that my mother asked for help, and one of the employees pretty much, one of the managers said when she asked to call 911, she told her we don't call 911. And then I had knew that my mother had asked to go home, and she was refused to go home at 6:50 in the morning. So I went up there pretty much talking to everybody. Some of the employees, they told me that my mother was harassed. I need to help them. They were kind of like happy I was there to find out what happened to my mom. They pretty much told me my mom was harassed and that there were two women that did not like my mom. And so I'll get their names later, but it's two women there that are in management that did not like my mom and were pretty much harassing my mom constantly. So it's kind of like a whole little mystery. So I go, so Saturday, my mom died on a Friday. Saturday is when I go, and I get, people are talking, but they're not talking enough. So on Monday, I go, and I asked to speak to like her manager. So I speak to her manager, a gentleman, and he leads us to an office. And he's telling me, your mother was fine before she came. She asked to go home. And he says, but all along he's telling me he wasn't there on Friday. So he pretty much asked me, is there a way, I asked him, does he have an incident report? Well, the incident report, I don't know. I need to speak to the manager. I said, you're over the department. You don't have the incident report and my mother died? No. I said, well, incident report, to my knowledge, incident reports are supposed to be done that day of the incident. So for her incident report not to be done and my mother's deceased, what is going on? So basically, the incident report was not done. I've been emailing them, requesting the incident report. No one has responded.
All right, so I'm going to pause real quick and read this text message she sent in from one of her mom's coworkers. And it starts on the left. It says, "We'll be in touch, but definitely go after blank and blank. They're the main ones with this harassment-ish." And then the daughter responds and says, "No one is responding to my calls, even the director over human resources." The coworker says, "Yeah, because they know they full of ish." The daughter says, "It's crazy. Not even an incident report was done." The coworker responds and says, "Especially the effing CEO allowing all of this BS because they have no experience at all. They just favored who they want without professionalism. It's always been that way." So she included this message in my DM, and then she also included a message from a man who reached out to her after she posted the story.
But even at my mom's funeral, so many people from the union and so many employees from LA County said how my mom was being treated, how her death would not go in vain. I've even tried to report up, pretty much do a police report. And because it's all LA County, do you know that I can't even do a police report? Every time I try to do a police report to find out the accounts of my mother's death, I just need to know what happened. Why no one's giving me what happened from when she walked in to when she walked out. Did somebody do anything to her? Was any type of foul play done? Only because she has so many complaints, so many months and years where she have complained about harassment and bullying on the job. I even have a letter where she was, someone threatened to kill her. Someone threatened to kill my mother at work. So I just sent you even two text messages that I got from somebody here, just kind of saying how they worked my mom to death.
So this person commented and they said, "Hey, I commented on the post of the woman who passed away at work." She replied and says, "She was my mom. Did you know her?" He says, "For real, I'm so sorry for your loss." She says, "Thank you." He says, "I worked with her for a couple of years at the hospital." She said, he says, "She was always super nice to me." She said, "Yes, very bubbly." He said, "Absolutely." She said, "I miss her." And then he said, "I'm so angry they worked her to death, literally. They treat black people like ish up there." She said, "And I'm trying to get to the bottom of her death, but no one will talk to me." He said, "I had a harassment case with HR about one of the Mexican supervisors who was harassing me at work." And then he tells her she should sue the hospital and get a lawyer right away.
And so I'm at the point where no one's communicating with me. Basically, I want to bring attention to her death because A, she was being harassed, bullying on the job. This is coming from my mom's own account. She's kind of was keeping record of the harassment complaints. My mother ends up dead after being refused to go home, and what I'm hearing from employees. And no one is communicating with me. They have disconnected everything. So I just kind of want to bring awareness to my mom's death. I posted it on my page. And because the type of page it is, it got traction, but I'm really trying to get it out there. Yeah, it's like a crazy, crazy case. I've been speaking to everybody. I've been doing so much. But, we have contacted an attorney. But I still feel like LA County need to be put on blast for the disconnect. They have not communicated with us. They have not contacted us. The management have all gone hush hush. We still don't have an incident report. It's been, in a couple of days, it'll be a month since my mom passing. We still don't have the full accounts of my mom's death. The managers that was there, no one has apologized or even just given us any gratitude for my mom. She was there for over 20 years.
Now, she also sent in a couple of other documents of who the ladies are that was alleged to be harassing her mom. Now, I'm not going to put their names out. If she sues them, then that's stuff that would be for her lawsuit. And she also said that all of the supervisors were Mexican and Hispanic, and there was claims that the black workers were treated unfairly. All right, so I just wanted to bring you guys that story. It's such a sad and tragic situation that we see happen oftentimes. A person will go to work, they'll dedicate every sense of their being to these jobs. And the jobs, when they are in need of, some type of medical attention, time to themselves, the jobs are really not compassionate to people. And it's unfortunate that she lost her life in this way and was not tended to in the way that she should have. My condolences go out to her daughter, her family, her friends, and her loved ones. And I hope that they get some sort of justice. Now, I'm not able to verify these alleged claims against this hospital or the company and things like that. But I'm just sharing a story that was sent to me by one of my night owls. So you guys let me know what you guys think about it down below. And I'll talk to you guys on the next video. All right, guys.